So Dana White, I guess he is at odds with Steven Espinoza from Showtime.
Oh, from Showtime.
About the Conor McGregor pay-per-view numbers.
I saw a little bit of this. Basically, himself, Dana that is, and Conor are claiming it was the #1 pay-per-view event ever. And of course, Espinoza, Showtime boss, came back and said, no, it was second. It did fantastically well, but it was second. I think that's the basic gist of it. Is that correct?
Yeah, I guess they were saying it did 6 point. Dana White and Conor and everyone were saying that it did 6.7 pay-per-view million buys, or million pay-per-view buys, which is the highest ever. And then Showtime reported officially that it's 4.3 million in a recent press release. Now, here's the deal, right? And this is the point that Steven Espinoza made, because he was on SiriusXM, our old stomping ground, and he basically was like, look, it's fine. You can promote however you want to promote, and Dana White does what he does, and fucking fine, more power to him. But we have millions of shareholders at Showtime. We can't put out something that isn't fucking, vetted the right way. We look at the numbers a certain way, we analyze them a certain way, and we have to be consistent, because that's the law. It's a different thing when you have a private company like the UFC. You can really just say whatever the fuck you want. It doesn't actually matter. So weirdly, he's implying that Dana White might be blowing up or exaggerating other numbers and other facts and figures as well.
Well, that's for him to imply, not for me to imply.
Yeah, well, I extracted that anyway. But he also went on to say that he would continue to work with Dana White. He's like, look, Dana White, I don't have to like a guy. He was like, we'll continue to promote together, and or I'll continue to promote with him if he wants to come into the boxing business and work with us. So, and we've seen this with Dana White before, where he fucking blows up guys like Tito Ortiz. He hates them, and then all of a sudden he's able to make it work. So that's the name of the game in business.
I think at the end of the day, when there's as much money on the table as what we're discussing here, personal relationships, they go to one side, and for the greater good and the massive pile of cash that's potentially on the table. It doesn't matter if you like the guy, hate the guy, whatever. It's business at the end of the day. I think it's very simple. If they're unsure about the numbers, then they have a right to audit the event. Simple as that. Just like in the UFC. Any fighter that is on a cut of the pay-per-view, you can audit the UFC. You can audit, to UFC 217, for example. Not that I want to, because obviously you got to pay those people, and I have no reason to disbelieve what I'm being told. And I don't think it would be in the UFC's, best interest to be lying on events. So, it's not good. But if they want to do that, I'm sure they have a right in their contract. Oh, of course they have a right. They can't stop you. Get the accountants involved and audit the event. And I'm sure they'll get to the bottom of it pretty quick.
Yeah. Well, the other thing is, you're kind of right there. Like, there's no reason for Dana White to say the pay-per-view numbers are more, because the guys who are headlining the pay-per-views get paid out a pretty hefty bonus on that. So that is them just handing away money, giving away money for no reason.
Yes and no. I think maybe I think they want the cachet and the bonus and the kudos of Conor being involved in the #1 pay-per-view event of all time. So I think that does wonders for promotion from Conor's standpoint. Of course, who wouldn't want to claim that? #2 is still fantastic, but being #1, that's incredible. But still, listen, they can talk about it all day. It's pretty simple. If you don't take their word for it, send the accountants in, and it'll get dealt with pretty quick.